How's it going, ladies and bruisers? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to the letter. I left you on a cliffhanger last time. We were in Isabella's room and the cupboard is knocking and we're about to go check it out, gun drawn. But I left the episode without opening it. Let's open it, shall we? And see what awaits us. I'm very excited. Something creaks. And then in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal... nothing. Right away, I part the clothes hanging in it and still none. No ghost, no woman, not a single trace of whoever's inside. I had a feeling that would happen. Confused, I glanced back towards Rebecca and Isabella, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise had finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it wasn't my imagination. Or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here, as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anymore. Anyway, without bothering to close it, I moved back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. You two, we need to...
I'm sent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Turns out she is here after all. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. I doubt that, because you'd probably be dead. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. Cold tendrils twisting around my ankles. The smell of vile rot assaulting my nose. Nauseating, sickening, a foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. Perhaps it's just inexperience. Or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes laid on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. And it's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say. The look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. Yeah, no shit. And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already gonna be the...
Ashton! Snap out of it!
No. I can't die here. Not yet. The haze fades from my mind and instinct kicks in then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wail she fills the room with. Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person my hand can reach and leading the two of them out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring the gas pedal. The second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while, I'm driving us out of Salem well. I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet. Even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night. October 31st, we're getting to the end of the timeline. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where some guy had gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. Was a few chews away from swallowing it, in fact. Lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by that damn chain letter of all things. This is the sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sakes. A ghost chasing after you just puts icing on the cake. So far all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff and run again. It frustrates me to no end that we're still no closer to an answer. Even my car reflects the state my mind's in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge, that thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take better care of myself. so that I'm killing myself on the job. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting, and how I reek, and how I need a shower pronto. Where are the other two?
I can rest easy when this is all over.
There's more fucking quantum suicide characters right there. It's the little girl and the dad and the mum who died right at the start. What the hell? Why is there so much quantum suicide crossover up in here? It's not that I can't feel the pangs of hunger. With that woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. A rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins and my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle and that horrid smell she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory's enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface. Normally, I keep it hidden in a compartment. Luxbourne police regulations only allows authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use when the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. These judo lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost though, all of those will probably yield the same results. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. However, it's a feeling of ease I'm after, or what little I can gather from it. The awareness that I at least have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are depending on me, despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off though. The feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing somebody's still depending on me. A stretch is still in order though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out of my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Luxbourne's normal in that, in the distance, beyond the buildings lining the horizon, dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace as if it'll be my last. But as with all good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them, Rebecca and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salemwell, we've elected to stay here the night until unsure if our homes will still be safe. Normally, we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us have gotten any ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it's only lasted but a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at them right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing wildly with her arms as she talks, something funny or amusing probably, because it's soon followed by Rebecca's giggles. Their voices filled the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend they were not knee-deep in a life-and-death situation the way they're acting now. Easy to forget one of us is being framed for a crime he likely didn't commit. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve in the shoulder, and dragged footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. Rebecca passes an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of the warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetables seem appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. Both of them appear to be of the same mind too. Soon enough they also start with theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forego. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're going to have to take care of ourselves first. It's one thing Zach will likely remind me if he was here. In a matter of minutes we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in mood. Back to dismal. Back to the problem at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kinds of moments between us. We never had the chance, always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are. With one of us gone, stuck in a jail cell, the world has an awful sense of humour. While the one we've just had is short-lived, that's another thing I want to look forward to, if we ever free ourselves from this damn curse. I like to believe there is a way, but now we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
It's not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so, back when I was at the top of my game, and I'm still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I can come up with. At some point logic has simply stopped working here, and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. The not so pleasant kind of fire. Oh, we're gonna argue again?
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll... As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. Nowhere safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chain letter you were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
I told you not to look at it, fool.
I didn't do it on purpose. Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have.
You two. Now's not really the time to be shouting at each other. I'm already getting a headache. So if you guys could calm down, that'd be really great.
Well, isn't that rich coming from you? Whose side are you on, Ash?
Why does anyone have to pick a side? You're a rational person, Becca. You know we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it, and
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for
Oh,
it.
good. Well, everything's fixed now because you can blame her. And now what? Now everything's fixed, we can go home? Fuck it? What the fuck does blaming someone help? That's not helping, and it's not her fault anyway. God damn. Becca really gets up my fucking nose, man.
And you're not? I didn't say that. Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well? I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
So now, you're throwing it back at us. We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Cut this out, okay? This isn't the time to have some dumb argument.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Ash. Oh no, Ash. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to say. If I didn't know any better, she's already. Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
All right, that's enough. Both of you, stop this.
They both falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between the three of us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at them, to add to that kindling, not in a moment when any time, anywhere, she might get to one of us. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving into the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen? To divide each of us so she can pick us off one by one? Right after? Who knows? Of course not. Anything's possible now, if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us, rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid, deathly afraid, that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure this all out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth, that, out of everyone, I have to be the one saying these to them. This is more their forte than mine, keeping the peace, placating everyone, while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than's needed, I like to blame it on my pent-up anger boiling in me. I'm not sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghost? At them? Maybe at myself for being this useless. Because despite none of them saying it, I know, goddammit. They're still counting on me. In spite of my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend. As there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and one by one, they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glances they shoot it my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Yet, it's one I'm more willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Though in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with it. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or you're stressed. More often than not, it's loud. Sometimes the music played by drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's the very definition of the last place I'd hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with G's security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help, in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, bartender G, or just G to his regular patrons, might be rough around the edges, sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of the city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well. Surprisingly, despite his surly demeanour, cares to some extent for people he likely sees only once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongues, forces one to let down his or her guard, whatever inhibitions anyone has. It all flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me. Opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help. When I've met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. Is Mary Ann going to be here? We're going to join up with her too? A single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything. And the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much-needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter's surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me, once I claim one of the empty stills and grab a rock glass, sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here, on the same spot just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place. Yet oddly, it's the nasty odour of a brewery that helps clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of the establishment's usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses, even more bizarre is that, through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth is curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of them, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat, going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct, and the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to look into it, and break inside the place. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I'm being so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there. Where all this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here. There are others. What happened to us? won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them, or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion, and now there are voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head, murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do, and of who I failed. At some point, they've all began to blur together, twining and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it back, as far back as I can, the visions come to me like a deluge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You're doing good there, boy.
His hand on my shoulder, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concern in his eyes. It's deeper now, marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people, after all. Even someone who is as closed off or distant like me. In all the time I've spent in the Force, there's only one other person who is as keen as this old guy. The Chief. Funny, and weird to some degree. I pointed it out to him so many times before, how they look so much alike, only for the observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. They look alike, they have the same voice actor, presumably. Are they brothers? Or are they clones? I've never brought it up again after the third time out of the respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He even has the glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still a clear picture in my head, no.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
Don't bring that up.
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful.
Icky.
Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out.
Ooh, that's icky.
Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since they closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards.
A noble thing indeed.
Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Free? Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Sounds like fun.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
You know that mansion down at Anslum?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there unmoving. His hand stops short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to a rack on his left. All while he stares at me, with his eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He probably assumes I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I would have been put in the same position. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is just desperation creeping in? The idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who haven't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank. I saw something.
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare, where the only way out might be death. And like I've expected, G's reaction to it, an amused laugh. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right, good luck with that. You're on your own. Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the smaller kind used for shots and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking, as if I'm simply another customer he entertains with his stories. But we both know it's more than that, if the wistful expression on him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. He's always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
No, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
Ah, good times.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just at this time. You're sure of who that badge and gun is for? What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause follows at his heels. From both of us, as he allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though before I can even clarify what he's trying to imply, or gather my thoughts on the matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverware. And we'll need those too. Once more of his patrons come in for lunch. Slow and easy. A sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through these past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of its absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. So when it all ends with the sound of my phone ringing, a sigh is all that leaves me. I placed the damn thing on a low volume last night, but it does nothing to keep it quiet. I don't even know if I want to answer it right now. It's brought me nothing but bad news, one after another. Thinking back about it only makes me want to chuck it back into the closest trash bin I can find. Not that it'll help with things, of course. Another exhale slips past my lips before I can pull it out, quickly swiping over the screen without checking the caller ID. Is Isabella and Becca here with us? Because we were all together in the car, right? So, presumably they're here too? Somewhere? After all, the ones who will worry or fret over how awful I might sound right now are here with me. My parents never call around this hour, so chances are it's probably just the Chief, or Abigail. There's Zach, but he's in a position where contacting me is impossible, placed in jail by some scumbag for a crime he likely didn't commit. Now he's pretending what I'm not, when it's anything but.
Inspector Frey speaking.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to bother you this early.
What is this about?
It's about your friend, you know? The guy I called you about yesterday.
Fuck.
The one they got in the night before.
We're too late, huh?
Zachary Steele.
His hesitant note does nothing to diminish the lump that has suddenly lodged itself at the base of my throat. What are the chances? What are the chances that something went wrong while I'm not looking? While I'm out of here brooding of all things?
How is he? Is he doing okay?
We actually have a problem, Detective Inspector.
Hasty assumptions aren't a usual fare in my book. They shouldn't change right now, The precinct is secure. It's supposed to be. They have guards manning the station 24/7. If anything happens, all Zack has to do is shout and someone will be there for him. Even if there's a phantom going after him, he should be safe there. He should have been. Yet none of these reassurances will allay my suspicions, and whatever little thread of hope is hanging on the phrase slow onto it, I'm hanging onto, phrase slowly as each second of silence passes us by. An expectation so weak, faint, I might as well just let it go and prepare myself for the worst. It's a feeble attempt at optimism I'll never get used to. This is out of my depth. This isn't my forte. Zack's, maybe. Rebecca's too. Never mind. Hell, this is the kind of mood Isabella has always unknowingly brought with her. What her eyes often conveyed, what I've often found myself searching in her whenever I look into them. But no matter how many times I repeat any words of comfort or calming images inside my head, the hollow chill at the base of my stomach refuses to ease. Even my voice shakes when I urge Officer Renz to speak again, weak and unsteady. The only thing keeping me from stumbling when I abruptly stand is the counter's solid support beside me, the flat of my hand braced against it for leverage.
Officer Renz. Renz, right? What happened? You're supposed to keep an eye on him, yeah? It's protocol.
Your friend, sir, he's... I think it'd be better if you just saw it yourself, sir. This isn't something you should be hearing over the phone. Chief Inspector Lee wants you to report in as well. It's about the case Luke Wright filed yesterday and...
The rest never registers. Rather, my brain refuses to acknowledge any of it, not even the possibility that this might be a terrible joke. All I can think is the suffocating dread and piercing noise, white and deafening, ringing in my ears despite the bar's morning hush. There is only Zack, only the whole expanse of Luxborn separating me from the ones I still believe safe from this whole fucked up situation we found ourselves in, along with the voices, vile ones, whispers that taunt, jeer and mock, each vague utterance growing restless as I make my way out of the bar without another word to G and slide back into my car. Alright, we gotta wrap this one up here. It sounds like there's nothing we could have done except if I'd made better decisions as Zack, not going in the window for example, he'd probably still be alive, so I guess I fucked up, huh? But that's how it is with games like this. You just gotta make mistakes and keep moving on, you know? We'll fix it later when we come through for the proper ending, I'm sure. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.